Global business consulting solutions for a constantly transforming world? That's Protiviti. Flexible, results-driven, and committed to you? That's Protiviti. Custom solutions shaped for your company's unique needs? That's Protiviti. Protiviti helps more than 70% of the Fortune 1000 run better today and change for tomorrow. Learn more at Protiviti.com/shape. That's PROTIVITI.com/shape.
Live from multiple locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing. Co-host, Ed Kaluka. Featuring dangerous Dan Margetta. And Brian Schmidt. LTN is a caller-driven program, and your participation is encouraged by calling 414-421-7901. That's 414-421-7901. Now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
And welcome to the program. I'm coming to you live from Dell's Raceway Park Scoring Tower, and thanks to those folks for allowing me to use their internet while I'm up north. Glad you could join us. We go to New Hampshire. It hit the fan this week with the news. My goodness, things are great. When we started this program 38 years ago, it had to do with the silly season, and it seemed like we had a silly week. But before we go into any of that, first of all, let me welcome my three co-hosts, starting with the longest tenured of the group, Ed Kaluka. Morning, Eddie.
Morning, Todd.
And, of course, Dan Margetta, who's joining us from St. Francis, Wisconsin.
Good morning. I like the return of the silly season. This is pretty cool. Gives a lot to talk about.
Yes, there is. And, of course, Brian Schmidt of Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hey.
Good morning. Yes, there's lots of stuff going on for the middle of July. That's kind of strange.
It is. But before we get to any of that, let us talk about 37-year-old Bobby East, who was the youngest driver ever to win a USAC midget race. He did it at Ileana Speedway at the age of 16. He was a three-time USAC Silver Crown champion, 04, 12, and 13. Had a handful of starts in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series. Dan, did you say he won at Milwaukee?
I thought like 2005 he won USAC race. They ran those like Silver Crown races on, was it NASCAR weekend or was it
IndyCar weekend usually?
I remember that.
Okay.
I thought he won one of those. I have to go check it out, but I thought it was like in the mid-2000s he had won.
He had stopped to get gas at a Los Angeles area gas station and got into a confrontation with a guy. They had pictures of him on. If you haven't seen it, you might want to look it up. And he was stabbed to death. Now, this happened on Wednesday. The guy got away. He was out on bail, and
Shocking.
there were, in Los Angeles, and there was a warrant for him anyway that was outstanding, and the SWAT team was sent to an address in Anaheim where he got into a confrontation with the SWAT team. Bobby East, 37 years old, and our condolences to the entire East family. I guess, and I'm sorry that I don't know more about this. His dad was prolific in USAC, I guess, right? Either Ed or Dan, you should maybe possibly know more about that. But
he was the Carlin, right? I mean, East chassis. A lot of people they call them the Beast chassis, right? And
okay.
a lot of people drove those, right, Brian?
Yeah, and he still was racing. He's running a lot of the pavement stuff. Lately in Indiana, they had been building back up the pavement midget and pavement sprint car stuff at Anderson and at IRP, and he'd been running that. I believe he ran a little 500 also. So that was starting to build back up. He was a pavement guy, was like his biggest claim to fame. He was really good on the pavement with the open wheel cars.
Well, just an unfortunate deal completely, and it makes you wonder just what the hell is going on in this country. But be that here or there, we race at New Hampshire this weekend, and Martin Truex has won the pole. Remember him? 127.113 miles per hour. He is one of the non-winners yet this year. He is currently above the cut line But the way this is going, it is absolutely amazing with 13 different winners of the 16 drivers that are going to make the playoffs. Ryan Blaney is just ahead of Truex and Christopher Bell right behind Truex. Those three are safe for now. And boy, you talk about a big asterisk that you put up for that, because all it takes is a win by someone and that whole thing could turn around and change. Harvick is the first one under the cut line. Ed, this is absolutely amazing, isn't it?
Right. I mean, you got 3 spots with 7 races to go, and there's several big names that are without a win. I mean, Truex could do it today. Ryan Blaney, why hasn't he won? Christopher Bell is due. Harvick's getting better, and then you got Daytona. So
yeah, and Daytona is looming.
And look at last week. We came within a whisper of having a guy that nobody would have thought win a race. Granted, he's below the 30. You have to be 30th in points. But had he won that race last week, that would have inflated his points up to possibly put him in the 30th. We're talking about Corey LaJoie.
Yes, at Corey LaJoie at Atlanta, the race that Chase Elliott won. And nobody's talking about Chase Elliott. They're talking about Corey LaJoie. The guy did a hell of a job, didn't he?
Oh, that was outstanding. I mean, it looked like he panicked a little bit there at the end when he tried to go high, when Chase went high. I think if he would have been able to maybe duck low, he might have had a fighting shot at that. But his car was legitimately there all day. And, you don't see that out of that's the Spire Motorsports team, that often, that their car is that good. And, yeah, it's restrictor plate racing, but still you have to put yourself in position, and he was there all day.
I mean, he went for it and made the shot, and obviously Chase blocked. That's what you do. I mean, I don't see really anything wrong with what Chase did. He's the last lap. You're protecting the lead. He makes the block. The only thing about Corey LaJoie is I wish he wouldn't have lost the car. He bounced it off the wall, but he didn't control it and spun and didn't really get the finish they really should have got with that thing, and kind of wrecked a lot of cars in the end there. But I get he was going for it.
And impressive all the way around. I mean, everybody in the sport felt good for the kid and went over and talked to him, and got a lot of pats on the back. And what a great interview he was, where he took the blame himself, and he said, haven't found myself in this position very often, and I kind of ran out of what am I supposed to do now type of thing. But boy, oh boy, it's very rare when Elliott is not the one that everybody's rooting for at the end. Elliott in the Hendrick car and the ex-champion.
Think about that. Elliott threw the block, and LaJoie took it and ended up taking the brunt end of it. The only alternative is to wreck Chase Elliott at Atlanta. I mean, that would have been something else.
That would have been kind of bad, yeah. Any good points he made for himself might have been turned around just a little bit right there. But either way, everybody feels pretty good for him. And now, which I find absolutely amusing, is that Corey LaJoie's name has come up in some conversations.
That's unbelievable.
Listen, hold on a second here. Corey LaJoie, yes, he did a fine job last week, but there are so many names on the list, as we alluded to earlier, so many things in the wind that we're going to talk about. It's just absolutely been an amazing thing to see, and good for Corey LaJoie. Who doesn't feel good about that story?
And he's a very charismatic guy. I mean, he's any potential sponsor out there. If you're to put him in a good vehicle, we think he can drive. We haven't seen him do it a lot, but right. I mean, if you're a spokesperson for a sponsor, I think he'd be perfect for that. I mean, he does a lot of Sirius XM radio stuff, and he's really good on there. When you do an interview with him, which are very few and far between, he's very good at that. You see a lot of guys out there that aren't quite as good with the media. He's really good with it.
You see GSI Tow Truck Insurance. He does a commercial for those guys on television now, and you can see how good he is. He's a good-looking kid and very well-spoken, like Brian said.
And everybody forgets, he's the son of Randy LaJoie, he was really good back in his day, and multiple-time, Busch Series champion. And people forget that Randy is there because you don't see Randy in the mix much. He does his seating thing and stuff, but you don't see him at the track with Corey real often. But a cool second-generation, thing there if he's able to get a decent ride at some point.
You bet.
The joy of seating.
The Joy of Seating. That's the name of it, and his company. And many teams, many race car drivers across this country use seats from Randy LaJoie's company, The Joy of Seating. We're going to sneak away and do a break. Please come back. We've got some fantastic rumors to throw around.
Vintage racing lives on at Road America. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2022 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The SVRA Vintage Festival weekend opens the 2022 season May 20th through 22nd. Get tickets today at roadamerica.com. Come for the experience. Stay for the race. Road America, America's national park of speed.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Be at the Fair Park in Plymouth this Saturday for the opening of the Plymouth Racing Wall of Fame. The inaugural group of inductees will be inducted. The program will be held during intermission of the race program. Help us recognize the stars of the past and those who made extraordinary contributions to racing. In addition, a full program of racing, late model, sprints, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Next week, July 30th, the IRA Sprints return along with the Plymouth Third Track Racing, MSA Sprints, and the exciting Badger Midgets. On-track activity at 5:30. We'll see you there.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800. Or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Are you ready for an inflation vacation? Win $1,000 9 times a day, weekdays, right here. Just listen for the keywords to enter on our website for your chance to win a grand.
At thebig920.com.
And welcome back to LTN. Yes, quite the bombshell this week. The media thought that Denny Hamlin had gathered them all together to throw more fuel on the NBC fire that says Ross Chastain is who we're supposed to hate. And everybody figured that's what this was all about. And lo and behold, he pulls out of his back pocket, Tyler Reddick is going to drive a Toyota, steals him away from Chevrolet, puts him into a Toyota for the 24 season. You know, last week, I think it was, guys, that I said, and we were talking about that Richard Childress exercised his option year, and Tyler Reddick is going to drive the 8 car next season, which is still going to happen, supposedly. But then, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Denny Hamlin. Yeah, he's going to drive for us starting in the year 24. And the whole sport was like, how would this possibly have been kept such a secret, knowing about how many people listen to whispers and report on whispers? It's been incredible. First of all, let's talk about the fact that Tyler Reddick is jumping ship from Chevrolet to Toyota. What do we think?
Well, I think it's fascinating. This is the first time that somebody's gone out this far to sign a driver for 24. That's a whole season ahead of time. Mm-hmm. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I don't. It's strange. I mean, it's nobody saw this coming, and what are the odds that you can keep something like this a secret without it getting out? I mean, these days, anytime there's any kind of speculation or anything, you get it. But this one here was actually just blasted you right inside the head when you saw it happen. You're like, what? You know. So now the question is, you know, is everybody at Childress says that he's going to be running next year in that car. Is that what's going to happen or not? Are they going to keep him there? Is he going to be a lame duck driver for basically a year and a half? That's what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
Unlike other professional sports, I think in racing it's not as big of a deal to be a lame duck, candidate, so to speak, because you still have to go out there and drive every lap, and I don't think when you're out there on the track you're thinking about stuff like that. But as far as technology that goes with these cars and working with these cars, there's where it might come in a little bit. How much stuff is he going to be allowed in the shop as much as he was before going forward? So there's a lot of angles to this that we'll see how they work out over the next year and a half.
I don't know if you guys ever watch Kenny Wallace, who does his own Facebook page where he comes on and talks about different subjects, and he calls it the Kenny Wallace Show. This week he said he does not believe that Tyler Reddick is going to be in that car next year. He thinks at the end of this year they're going to part ways, and but that would leave another set of circumstances out there if that's actually the case, because we have to look at all there are dominoes that fall no matter when, and anytime something like this happens and it leaves spots open, and it's the people that could end up being moved into those spots are what the whole thing is about. At the same time, almost at the same time that it was announced that Tyler Reddick is going to vacate the 8 car next year, Ty Dillon announces that a mutual decision between himself and Petty GS, and he's out of the 42 car at the end of this year. Well, now, isn't that just a coincidence? Wouldn't it be nice to go race for Pop-Pops like your brother does? And they talked to Ty Dillon. He's a very thoughtful young man and a very good interview. And, he said, I know that's what everybody would naturally think. He says, and I'm not even going to say that that's out of the question. He said, but I have to keep all of my options open, and I'm looking at everything. The difference is, guys, I don't think he brings any significant money, does he?
I don't believe so. No. I mean, I don't know what his – you haven't seen it in the past, and that's why he's always been in second-tier rides, because he hasn't been able to do that. I mean, the kid's talented. When he was in the Truck Series and the Xfinity Series, he did his fair share of winning. But when he's been moving up here, he's always been in subpar rides, and it's been because he doesn't have the backing for it. However, blood is thicker than water, so we'll see. Will family play into this? As time goes on here and we get through the rest of the season, will the pressure mount from Childress to, do you really want to have a lame duck guy in your car for a whole nother year? And then will the dominoes fall? And now that Ty Dillon is available, will they pull the trigger and then put Ty and Austin together? Not sure that'll make that program that much better, because I think Tyler Reddick brings a lot more to the table than Ty Dillon. But then again, how do you want to go forward with this? Because it's a tough situation for Richard Childress.
It's terrible. It's a terrible deal for Childress.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have blown him.
How high he was on 2 weeks ago, winning a race, legitimately winning a race, which is something they haven't done in many, many years. They backed into several over the years, but legitimately winning a race because your car was that good, and now 2 weeks later you're dealing with this. That's
and your situation. Driver is that good.
Yes.
Reddick is a franchise driver. That's a guy you build a team around, and it's hard to lose that. Remember, this isn't the first time somebody signed a contract for 2 years in the future. Kurt Busch did it with the 2-car. Remember, he was at Roush, and he signed car 2 years, and eventually, he got out of there because he had his own issues going forward. that was he didn't.
Isn't that where he got arrested in Phoenix?
I think that. Yeah. And then Casey Kane signed it with Hendrick for 2010 in 2008, and he drove that 1 year with that Red Bull team, that 4-car that was the Red Bull team. They put him there, and I thought Hendrick had a part in getting him in that ride. So maybe 2311 has some pull in putting him somewhere else if they don't keep him on the 8-car. Maybe there's somewhere else that can plug him in.
And how much support will he get for pushing for a title? I mean, RCR would like to win the title, but it'd be like egg on your face.
It's a distraction. I think it's a distraction.
Oh, yeah, big distraction.
But Ed, I would think that he's going to do everything in his power to stand up, to be able to stand up on that stage and be crowned champion again.
And remember when he drove for Junior Motorsports, he wasn't coming back there either in the Xfinity side, and he went out and won the championship for them. Remember they told him he was gone, and he still went out and won the thing.
That's right. Oh, my God.
So he's done this before.
They must have thrown a boatload of money at that young man. That's what I figure. It can't be that hard to figure out. But there are other dominoes that we're going to talk about after these messages.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. IMSA Sports Car Weekend is August 4th to the 7th. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
Talking Golf is on the air. This is Paul Brown inviting you to join Dennis Tiziani, Steve Stricker, Gary D'Amato, and me as we take you inside the ropes of the PGA Tour. Plus, Gary will have the latest golf news from the Badger State and beyond. And Dennis will have updates for golfers on the renovation of the golf course and clubhouse at Cherokee. That's Talking Golf, Monday night at 6 p.m. on the Big 920 Milwaukee Sports Station.
So even though the Tyler Reddick deal was the news of the week, there are other things that are out there that are things that probably we should all consider when thinking about who might be headed for certain rides. Like, for instance, the start of this season, Eric Almirola announced he was all done. After this year, he was all done. And we assumed it's because Smithfield said, we've been with you this long, and yeah, you win here and there. He actually won this New Hampshire race last year. But we're going to cut back. And so Almirola does the right thing and says, yeah, my kids are now 9 and 10 years old. I need to spend more time with the family. I'm all done. I don't know exactly what changed this week, but Almirola is now whispering to people that he would be interested in possibly returning next year. He said he would be interested in possible part-time. What kind of deal would that be exactly?
Not any good.
Not any good.
Part-time guys don't usually amount to much anymore.
Not with the way the situation in NASCAR, the top 30 in points, everything is around the title, getting in the title race. So part-time don't work at all.
So in the meantime, there are some things to consider. Kyle Busch is still their team is still looking to procure sponsorship. So because they do not have a sponsor going forward, they have not signed Kyle Busch past the end of this season. So Kyle Busch will be a free agent as of right now. Will be a free agent when this season is over. All right. So now let's just for the hell of it run back and talk about Eric Almirola for a second. That number 10 car is out there, but you say to yourself, well, Ryan Preece he has signed a contract. Ryan Preece has been a pretty darn good race car driver no matter where he goes. He's a slam dunk to end up in that 10 car. However, there's a couple of things to consider. They do not have a sponsor for the 10 car next year. And, even though Ryan Preece seems like he'd be the perfect driver there, they need to have sponsorship. So couple other things that you might want to know. Kevin Harvick is his agent. Okay, his KH1 company is, or KHI, I'm sorry, is Ryan Preece's agent, and of course that's his, quasi teammate over there at Tony Stewart Racing, Stewart Haas. So what do you do now? Harvick is looking for sponsors for Ryan Preece, and may or may not have found enough sponsorship for the kid. It doesn't look like it has, or they might have announced something by now. In the meantime, don't you think that Tony Stewart would rather have Kyle Busch in his 10 car? If they're going to find sponsorship for that 10 car, why would they not want to put Kyle Busch in the car?
Why wouldn't anybody want to put Kyle Busch in the car? I mean, he's a great driver and everything else. I mean, yeah, does he have the people
issues?
Issues, yeah. But I mean, and it's issues because he doesn't like to lose. I like guys that don't like to lose, especially when we race that way. That way. I mean, and think about it. If they had the opportunity, wouldn't you make it take a shot? I mean, you missed Kyle Larson. I mean, he was there. He could have had them, and then they didn't take him because the Ford didn't want him. And look what happened. He went to Hendrick and won the championship. So I think that's the big domino right there is the 18 car and Kyle Busch. What did they do? They're probably working on sponsorship. They're probably working on a lot of deals to come together. Obviously, I don't think Kyle's going to get the kind of money that he's used to getting because everybody's had to take a big pay cut. Now he's forced to do it now. I mean, Mars was the last sponsor that was under the old system of, with drivers making money. So that's gone. But Kyle's got leverage. I mean, Kyle's leverage is he's got a race team. I mean, if he leaves Toyota, Toyota's stuck without places to put their guys. I mean, they use Kyle Busch Racing to plug all their up-and-coming guys and stuff. So I think Toyota wants them real bad to stay in their car. It's just trying to find everybody together and come up with a number that works for everybody. And especially with this out there now, I'm sure it's kind of like headhunting going on. There's other people out there throwing things around too. Hey, come over here. So we'll see.
And remember, there's the Ty Gibbs factor out there. Even though the plan right now is for him to spend another year in the Xfinity series, he is the what they call the 800-pound gorilla sitting in the corner. Well, if they don't get, Kyle to be able to re-sign over there, who would we put in that car? That kid has got either 18 or 19 in his future, the way it looks to me. And 19, if we go a year, I expect Kyle Busch to be able to find the sponsorship to continue in that 18 car. And as we know, there's only 1 year left out of Martin Truex before he's likely going to retire after next year, which just fits perfectly into the Ty Gibbs timeline. Love him or hate him. He's going to be around a long time.
Let's not forget how well Ryan Preece produces when he's put in a situation with good equipment to produce. I mean, he's run a handful of Truck Series races. He wins those Truck Series races. He was given an opportunity with Gibbs to run that Xfinity car a few years ago, and there were few and far between. He won several of those things. So, the cost to have Kyle Busch drive for you and what it's going to take to get him in that car for Stewart Haas could be extremely high compared to what it would cost to get Ryan Preece in a car. And the results with Ryan Preece may be much better than what one thinks. The ebb and flow of NASCAR the ebb and flow of NASCAR this year, Stewart Haas is not producing. So usually how the pendulum swings, you're looking at a year or two here, they're going to be back up to where they were in 2020 when Harvick won, 8 races. So having Ryan Preece in there, I don't think is a terrible consolation prize if you're not able to get Kyle Busch. In fact, I would love to see Ryan Preece in that car full time.
If they're even talking, which we don't even know.
A lot of people.
Maybe they are, they aren't. But if they were, and how serious is Ford? I mean, they have long memories. I mean, Toyota stole Kyle Edwards from you. They stole Matt Kenseth from you. They've taken some guys from you. I mean, there'd be a chance to steal.
Mary redeemed a $50,000 cash prize playing Chumba Casino online.
I was only playing for fun, so winning was a dream come true.
Chumba Casino is America's favorite free online social casino. You too could have the chance to win life-changing cash prizes. Absolutely anybody could be like Mary. Be like Mary. Log on to ChumbaCasino.com and play for free now. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details. The voice in the preceding commercial was not the actual voice of the winner.
Oh, we could fly.
This is your summer. That means Six Flags and the taste of an ice-cold Coca-Cola. We're talking thrilling coasters, delicious burgers, real moments together, and this. Coke is summer refreshment when you need it most. so you can hop on another ride. Six Flags and Coca-Cola. Come make it yours. Visit sixflags.com/Coke to save up to $20 on passes, plus daily tickets starting at $34.99.
Maybe we could put Rowdy in a Ford. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, and by the way, I'm sure there are many people that have thought the same thing I did immediately when I heard Reddick is leaving and going to be going over there for the 2024 season, and that has to do with the number 45 car. Kurt Busch is driving it right now. We know that he's been, talking about retirement. It's out there. Wouldn't that be perfect that if Kurt retired after next season, that Reddick would go into the 45 car? Now, I have two sources that are both extremely knowledgeable and good sources, neither of which names I will give you. But I can tell you, one of them said that's what's going to happen. Kurt's going to retire after next year, and Reddick will be in the 45 car. And the other one said, no, that's not necessarily what's going to happen. Don't think of it as it's a done deal. It is not. In the meantime, the price of these charters, Ed, they keep going up and up and up. What's it going to cost to buy another charter for a full-time team by the time 24 rolls around?
Well, that was the design of it all in the first place, was to make the charter worth the money that it's supposed to be worth, and I think it's going to play out that way.
Now, we had a call during the break. A fellow wanted to know what the Bubba status is. We're talking that 23 car has been underperforming. There's been lots of reasons for it. Everybody's pointing to the crew and blah, blah, this and that. Bubba is solid from what we can tell in that car because it's all about the sponsorship. And look at all the companies that are jumped on board with Bubba Wallace. He's solid in that car. Make no mistake about it. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be right back.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. IMSA Sports Car Weekend is August 4th to the 7th. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice at Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Gas prices are up, morale is down. But that's why we're here with Inflation Vacation.
Oh, my God.
Listen for your chance to win $1,000 every weekday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All brought to you by Clement Manor. Grab your clubs, tee up, and enjoy 18 holes of fun at the Clement Manor Golf Classic, July 25th at the New Berlin Hills Golf Course. All proceeds benefit the Clement Manor Living Community. Reserve your spot today. Go to ClementManor.com.
Welcome back to the program. Glad you could join us. Have you noticed that NBC hates Chastain with a passion? They are going out of their way to take, no matter what he does, and I realize Chastain is inviting criticism by his overly aggressive driving style. There are some in the racing world who are trying to say, this is good. Why are you making him into a bad guy? Well, because seems like most of it is he's picking on poor Denny Hamlin. But Chastain, my God, if you watch NBC, you think this is the guy you don't want living next door, yet he's some kind of bad guy. Don't look at it that way. NBC is, they try to make heroes and villains, it seems like. And he's not a villain, believe me. Chastain's going to be around a long time. He's aggressive. When anybody says he has driving style like, say, for instance, Dale Earnhardt, that makes other people mad. No, there's no other Dale Earnhardt. There never will be. And, well, remember how many people were mad at Dale Earnhardt half of the time for his driving style. And you might also want to, if you're going to go that way, you might even add Ernie Irvan to the list. Dan, there were a lot of people hated Ernie Irvan. My God.
Yeah, he had the same kind of aggressive style. And again, it's easier. It's easier to you can't push a rope. Is what I'm trying to say. It's better to have somebody that's like that. I'd rather have a driver that you have to kind of dial back a little bit than one you have to kick in the pants to get going. So I think Chastain is too progressive, and he's got a fast car, and like at Atlanta, he goes for it, and it didn't work out, and he caused some wrecks. So at Atlanta, he caused some incidents, and that was probably some things that's on him. But to make it out like to go out of the way and say that this, we don't like him or nothing like that. The sport needs people like that. I think you need drivers like that'll get going, and ones that you don't have to say, hey, come on, let's go, buddy, it's time to go.
And the important thing is that his owners are not discouraging him at all. He said, man, you just keep doing what you're doing.
Part of it might be, too, is he's had all his opportunities in other cars and never really was that good. Now you got a team that really believes in him, says go out and be yourself and do this, and he's doing really well. And there's probably some other, I don't call it jealousy, but there's probably some other people in there that are like, hey, he didn't do this with us. What's going on? That they're not buying the fact that this guy's running up front every week.
He is, and in fact, Trackhouse Racing is absolutely, the talk of the sport this year as far as where the hell did they come from? Did anybody expect them to have two cars? There are only two cars in the playoffs this year, and new winners, and it's been amazing to see what they have been able to do, which, all kind of leads to everybody started on the same square this year. And
they found something. They had to find something. I'm curious what they found, because it's kind of some team like stands out like this runs. They're the only ones that are really there all the time every week, and they're challenging the powerhouses now. So they had to find something that nobody else does, and usually it takes a while, and it finally gets out, and everybody catches up. They haven't yet, but I'm curious what did they find that nobody else has?
Well, there was an interesting conversation that took place in an interview between him and the guy who drives trucks every run now on NBC. That the guy came back to talk to him and said, "Now you just told me that you told me that cars in front of you don't seem to bounce like yours." And his eyes rolled back and said that was a private conversation. And if you notice that car, all these cars that are going over the bumps are bouncing like crazy. Almost looks like Formula One stupidity. Not his cars. They have figured out something in the shock package that is working real well.
The race is going to be televised today on the USA Network. Some people have it, some people don't. I think that might tend to be a factor of why some of the ratings are, not what they had hoped. I think that, you make people look for it, and this is what's going to happen. Check your local listings for USA Network. It is streaming on NBC Sports app. The green flag is at 2:18 this afternoon. The forecast is for 86 degrees and partly cloudy skies, 4% chance of precipitation. All in all, a perfect day for a racetrack out in, it's a suburban Boston area is really what is the Boston market out there. And, they've had some, it's a great area for racing in this country. And sometimes, we overlook it when being out here in the Midwest and thinking, what do they do up in that area? They have a lot of racetracks up there, and, they've been doing it a long time. Brian?
You talked a little bit about NBC and how they seem to be trying to paint a narrative this year. I don't know if other people have noticed it either, but the NBC coverage this year seems to be a lot more, I don't know what the word would be, irritating than what you've seen other years. I mean, yesterday, for example, practice started at 10:30 our time, and they had three people talking, not even showing the Tour de France, talking about the Tour de France for a half hour and missed the first, half hour of practice. Today's IndyCar race is not even on TV at all. You got to have it on Peacock, and that's your only way to see it.
Wait, I thought we weren't going to do that.
Yeah, right. And what are they showing on NBC today instead of racing?
There's golf, and then it's track and field from Oregon.
Track and field. I mean, I didn't think that was a mainstream sport. I know high school kids do it.
Well, golf is a big deal.
That is, and I get that. but the races, we're running these races later in the day to not interfere with other sporting events, and the British Open is one of them because that's usually done by noon. But I don't know. This year, man, it's just difficult to get your arms around NBC and enjoy their coverage compared to Fox. And we always rap on Fox. We grumble about Fox all the time. But when you compare Mike Joy to Rick Allen, I'll take Mike Joy any day. And then you got the guys that are screaming all day in the NBC.
Steve Letarte, Jeff Burton, and Dale Jr. I have compared them in the past to three prepubescent teenage girls at a sleepover. They do nothing but scream and whine and where in the hell is the volume?
This year's coverage with Fox, when you had Tony Stewart a couple times in there, you had Kenseth in there, you had these different guys with Boyer. That was very enjoyable.
And different
and they were
perspectives,
calm.
Yeah.
Yes, and they did such a good job. Even when they had Larry Mack in there a couple times too, he wasn't off the wall like he sometimes can be. But man, what a difference in coverage now that we've switched over. And not
Ed,
the better.
you thought Michael Waltrip was a pain in the ass.
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. IMSA Sports Car Weekend is August 4th to the 7th. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Are you ready for an inflation vacation? Win $1,000 9 times a day, weekdays, right here. Just listen for the keywords to enter on our website for your chance to win a grand.
At thebig920.com.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
It was a full, jam-packed week of dirt racing this week. We will start all the way back on Monday in Stuart, Iowa. People are going to say, who cares about Stuart, Iowa? The XR Super Series was there, and they handed out $20,000 on a Monday night in the middle of Iowa for the Super Late Model Feature winner. Jonathan Davenport was your winner there. They did it again on Tuesday night. They handed out another $20,000. And Chris Madden won that. Also Tuesday night in Attica, Ohio, the World of Outlaw Nosh Energy Drink Sprint Car Series was there for the Brad Doty Classic. $15,000 to win. Kyle Larson picked up the win there. Wednesday in Beloit, Kansas, the USAC Midgets were out there. Thomas Meserol picked up your win. Mount Pelier, Indiana, Wednesday night, the UMP Summer Nationals, $5,000 win. Bobby Pierce won that. And in Rossburg, Ohio, the World of Outlaw Nosh Energy Drink Series started their week-long adventure with the Joker's Wild, $10,000 to win Wednesday. That went to David Gravel. Thursday night in Maryville, Indiana, the Shady Hill Speedway, the UMP Summer Nationals were there. Bobby Pierce continued his domination, picking up the 5,000 there. Odessa, Missouri, the I-70 Speedway. That used to be an asphalt oval that the ASA ran on years ago. It's now a dirt track. The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series was there, 10,000 win. That went to Hudson O'Neill. And in Rossburg, Ohio, the NOS Energy Drink World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, the historical big one Thursday night. They handed out $100,000. And 14th starting Brett Marks picked up the $100,000 win on Thursday night for that one. Friday night in Chilton, Gravity Park Speedway in the modifieds, Marcus Hopner was your winner. The Grand Nationals was Dustin Weiss, and the stock cars was Tyler Wilson. Over in Menominee, the Red Cedar Speedway, in the Wissota Late Models, it was A.J. Demo, and in the modifieds, it was Sammy Mars. That's Jimmy Mars' younger son. Superior, Wisconsin, the Gondik Law Speedway, the Wissota Late Models went to Devin Van House, and the modifieds was Al Houghton. Fairbury, Nebraska, the Jefferson County Speedway for the USAC Midgets. Mitchell Moles picked up his first ever feature win, winning that one there. Grand Forks, North Dakota, the River City Speedway. The World of Outlaw Case Construction Late Models were there, 10,000 win. That went to Shane Clanton. And on the undercard were the IRA versus the NOSA 410 Sprints. They had a full field there. Austin Pierce was your winner of the sprint car portion of that race. About 14 or 15 of our IRA guys made the trek out there, so that was cool to see. Granite City, Illinois, Friday night, the Tri-City Speedway for the Lucas Oil Late Models. The Napa 50, 12,000 to win. That went to Hudson O'Neill again. Don't look now, but he's starting to get on a roll as the month of money upon us for the late models.
A month
Saturday
of
night.
money. I love it.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of money coming up. It's actually been a year of money, more than likely, but Saturday night at Plymouth in the Badger Midgets, Zach Bowden was your winner. The 360 Sprints went to Travis Aarons. The late models went to Paul Niznik. That's his first ever late model feature win. He's from up in Medford. Came down and made the trip worthwhile, winning the feature at Plymouth. The Grand Nationals was Matt Lower. Francis Crick, the 141 Speedway last night. In the modifieds, it was Mike Mullen. The stock cars, Luke Lemons. And the Grand Nationals was T.J. Smith. Over at Shawano in the late models, Joel Bennett. That's Lowell Bennett's little brother. He picked up the win there. In the modifieds, Marcus Yari, and the stock cars was Travis Van Stratton. Over at Beaver Dam in the modifieds, Brandon Schmidt was your winner. The Grand Nationals was Justin Pearson. In Richmond, Wisconsin at the Cedar Lake Speedway, the USRA Limited Late Models were the headliner. Lance Hofer was your winner there. Rice Lake, the Wissota modifieds went to Mike Anderson.
Hey, what are you doing next year?
Working, probably.
What about college?
I wish.
Check out University of the West. It's one of the most affordable private universities in the U.S.
Oh, yeah?
U.S. gives over $1 million in scholarships and financial aid every year.
U.S., huh?
Go to applyus.org/start. If you qualify, you get your application fee waived. But hurry, spots are limited. That's applyus.org/start. University of the West. Awaken your purpose.
Night number 2 at Fairbury, Nebraska for the USAC National Midgets, 10,000 win. That went to Michael Buddy Kofoid. Over at Knoxville last night in the 410 Sprints, Aaron Reitzel was your winner. Scotty Thiel made the trek over from Sheboygan here. He finished 7th. And in the 360s, it was Ian Madsen. Grand Forks, North Dakota, the River City Raceway. Night number 2 of the IRA versus NOSA 410 Sprints. Jake Blackhurst was your winner. If you have not seen the video, you have to take a look at it.
Gotta see this.
Jake Blackhurst was 3rd going into turn number 4 on the last lap. He ran the cushion past both guys that were battling for the lead. The announcer didn't even know who won it.
Oh,
I was watching it.
And the finish came up, and a different guy went to victory lane. Like, what the hell is that? And they ran it back.
Yeah.
And, oh my God, he passed those guys at the flag.
They had the camera on Jake Blackhurst, who's a guy who runs the IRA around here, which is kind of cool to see us go out there and actually take home the win. So yeah, definitely look that one up. That was an impressive win for Jake Blackhurst. Wauseon, Ohio, the Oakshade Speedway, the UMP Summer Nationals, 10,000 win. Devin Moran was your winner there. Wheatland, Missouri, Lucas Oil Speedway for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series Diamond Nationals, 15,000 win. That went to Johnny Scott. And finally, the big event at Eldora, they had to run 2 of them because Friday night rained out, so they ran the night before the Kings Royal. Actually, it was the morning before. They ran it yesterday morning, 10,000 win. That went to David Gravel. And then the 9 camp, the 39th annual Kings Royal, $175,000 to win this feature. Dan, do you remember back in 2018, we were at Wilmot, and we watched the World of Outlaws, and a guy named Brett Marks won the feature, and we walked out of there going, who is Brett Marks? Yeah. Well, he did the double this week. He won $100,000 on Thursday night, and he won $175,000 last night in the 39th Kings Royal. Not to mention he won most of the races during Pennsylvania Speed Week. So he is just on a roll. Congratulations to him. He does not run the World of Outlaws full time. It's a family-owned team, so for them to win that kind of money is absolutely incredible.
So the posse stole the Outlaws cash, huh?
Yes, they did.
Oh, that's pretty amazing. Thanks to our friend Paul Reichert for helping us out with results from around the world of asphalt racing. The Xfinity Series raced yesterday. Justin Allgaier was your winner. Noah Gragson was DQ'd and Landon Castle was DQ'd. Both of them were up front at the end of that thing. One was too low in the front, one was too low in the back. In the SRX Series, Tony Stewart wins at Pevely, Missouri at I-55 last night. I was able to catch that this morning. Well, I had it taped after being here at Dells Raceway Park last night. Last Sunday, Slinger Speedway was the prelude to the Nationals. It was rained out. And then Tuesday, the big show, the 43rd annual Slinger Nationals. What a program it was. We'll talk more about it as we have time at the end of the program, but William Byron was your winner, and what a show it was from top to bottom. Congratulations to Midwest Truck Series winner Brad J.J. Miller for winning that one. Thursday night at State Park Speedway in the Super Late Models, it was Travis Volm. At WIR in Kaukauna in the Super Lates, Bobby Kendall wins again. And in the Late Models, it was Brian Monday. Friday night at Golden Sands, it was Brady Bill in the Late Models, and Madison was rained out. Last night, right here at Dells Raceway Park, where I'm overlooking the front stretch, doing this program in the Pro Late Models, it was and is the Mike Litchfield Show. My God, that guy is something else at this racetrack, worth the price of admission alone. The Midwest Dash Series ran, and Phil Maloff was your winner. At Jefferson last night, Tyler Peterson won in the Late Models. At La Crosse, the NASCAR Late Models, Cole Howland won. First win in 3 years for Cole. At Rockford, it was their 75th anniversary celebration, and Jake Guiley won in the NASCAR Late Models. The Tundra Series ran at Norway, Michigan last night. Dalton Zier was fast time, and he also won the race 8 years ago, which was the last time Tundra raced there. And the Redbud 400 was down at Anderson, Indiana. Sammy Smith, who raced with us Tuesday at Slinger, was your winner. Casey Johnson was down there, had a hard time and finished down a little bit. We're going to do a quick break and come back with the Slinger Nationals right after these.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
It's one of the most incredible weekends of sports car racing in the world at Road America, America's national park of speed. IMSA Sports Car Weekend is August 4th to the 7th. Bring the entire family. Kids 16 and under are free with paying adults. Tickets and more at roadamerica.com.
Be at the Fair Park in Plymouth this Saturday for the opening of the Plymouth Racing Wall of Fame. The inaugural group of inductees will be inducted. The program will be held during intermission of the race program. Help us recognize the stars of the past and those who made extraordinary contributions to racing. In addition, a full program of racing, late model, sprints, Grand Nationals, and B-Mods. Next week, July 30th, the IRA Sprints return along with the Plymouth Third Track Racing, MSA Sprints, and the exciting Badger Midgets. On-track activity at 5:30. We'll see you there.
Gas prices are up, morale is down, but that's why we're here with Inflation Vacation.
Oh my God.
Listen for your chance to win $1,000 every weekday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
All brought to you by Clement Manor. Grab your clubs, tee up, and enjoy 18 holes of fun at the Clement Manor Golf Classic, July 25th at the New Berlin Hills Golf Course. All proceeds benefit the Clement Manor Living Community. Reserve your spot today. Go to ClementManor.com.
It was a hell of a show. That's all I can say. First of all, happy birthday to Dan Casey, the guy that's in charge of lap money at Slinger Speedway. Over $15,000 was donated for lap money on top of the $20,000 to win and the rest of the purse. Just a fantastic purse at Slinger Speedway. Highest payday in the history of Wisconsin short track racing. And congratulations, Jacob Nottestad led the first, unofficially, I think it was about 87 laps. He took home a little bit under $8,000 in lap money alone, including lap 6, $1,006 just for leading lap 6. Absolutely amazing. Dan, who put that lap together?
That was a group, the Rich Zimpel and Aaron Baird are the two that I know that do it. They're out in the parking lot. It's kind of a fantasy deal. $10, you can pick a team. You got to pick 6 guys. You have to pick one. They have different groups of drivers, so you can't pick all top favorite guys and stuff. And then they have.
But $1,000 for a lap.
Right. I mean, and that they wanted it to be the richest lap in Wisconsin, and they got it. And when it was all said and done, I filled an entry out. I didn't do that well. My guys kind of had problems in the end there. Alex Prunty got the win in a tiebreaker over Aaron Baird. So that's pretty cool. But that place was electric that night. That was yes, Dan, you're totally right about that. As the race wore down, Luke Fenhouse and Ty Majeski were up front, and I mean fighting for the lead. I believe that both of their time down south, they've been taking some very close notes. I don't remember them both being anywhere near as aggressive as they were as the laps wore down. And here, of all people, 24-year-old William Byron is following them around in a car that we know is fast because he set fast time with the thing and was following closely, decided to go to the outside of that battle and got run out of room, by my count, 3 times trying to pass Ty Majeski for the lead, where the 24 car of Byron actually scraped the backstretch wall. He never lifted. He stuck with it, finally got around that battle, and William Byron goes on for the win. Amazing. Dan, electric. As part of the broadcast, and I ran a camera for the Racing America broadcast, which was like a full-blown live deal. We had a director that was always in your ear telling stuff. And at the end there, when I was on that lead battle, I mean, she came on, she said, "Oh, my God." I mean, so that's a director, It was good.
And kudos to the Slinger staff, because all day long we didn't really think weather was going to be an issue. And when weather did become an issue, we got the truck race in. The cloud was bearing right over our head. We skipped the driver introductions, which I know everybody loves. I know you love to do it, Todd. But we got that race in. There were a couple of spots, but if you looked at how things happened, when that race was over and they're doing victory lane, that's when it started to rain hard enough that we actually lost the track. So had they not pushed through and did all that stuff, we probably wouldn't have gotten that full race in until the wee hours in the morning if we even would have attempted to dry it.
That was completely on Todd Thielen.
Yes, congratulations. To have a crowd that big and to give them the entire program, that was big, and it was great, and it was timely too for people that had to work the next day. You were out of there before 11 o'clock, so that was great.
I should tell you that I was up on that victory deck when William Byron jumped up there, and that kid, I can tell when someone is genuinely excited, and that kid was generally. I mean, folks. He's shaken, which you think, well, he just got out of a race car. He should be. And the crowd was amazing, just cheering for the guy who had never been there before. And he says to me, "This crowd is amazing, man." I said, yeah, welcome to Slinger, a 24-year-old that won the first time he was ever at Slinger Speedway. Just absolutely amazing. The only other person that ever did that was Nathan Hosley when he won the Slinger Nationals back in 2005. But, Dan, you had to feel the electricity in the crowd, even from where you were. That was amazing, wasn't it?
It was. It's just the whole vibe of the whole night. And to have racing like that towards the end and have those guys in it and the place being packed like that, up on the deck on the roof, you can kind of see the big picture up there and you see what it's like. And people were generally jumping up and down. There's a video out there on YouTube. You get a chance to see it with some crowd reaction on it. It is amazing. One guy in there says, "Oh my God, I think I'm going to have a heart attack." And the other guy looks at him and he says, "Now you know why we brought you to the Slinger." So in other words, they obviously had not been there before. And that's the kind of thing that really, really stands out and is really going to make this event big and really does a lot at Slinger for everybody. He said the staff, even the drivers, man. Our weekly drivers there, we have some of the best around, and we put on a show every week.
Every week, you betcha. By the way, Matt Kenseth had a car he was unhappy with from the time they unloaded it. They kept making it better. He didn't make the race, had to come in on a champion's provisional, started dead last on the field, and worked his way up. Every person, when you forget about Matt, that he's back there. Every time you watched him racing with somebody, he ended up ahead of them. Isn't that just amazing? A lot of guys that were a lot faster. And at the end of the race, he ended up fifth, quiet fifth place. I am absolutely positive he was unhappy with everything, but if you were a Kenseth fan and kept an eye on him, it was fun watching him pass that many cars with a car that he wasn't all that happy with. Tonight at Slinger Speedway, it's the Small Car Nationals, Bandoleros, Legends, Super Bees, Slinger Bees, the Wisconsin Sport Trucks, and the American Super Cups, all racing tonight at the Slinger Speedway. Time trials are at a little after 5. Racing gets underway at 6:30. So for all of us, we appreciate you tuning into this radio show as you do every week, and as we like to bring it. Thanks to Jerry Albee for letting me do the program up here in the tower at Dells Raceway Park. And we want you to remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer, website coordinator, and king of the knobs is Matt Hangover Losi. For all of us involved with the program, we love you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, everybody.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.
Welcome to Generic University, student 187369.
At Mount Wachusett Community College, we see students as real people. Our faculty and advisors are here to help you grow and achieve success. Explore your options with the Mount's 70-plus programs, 4-year college transfer pathways, and career exploration at mwcc.edu/fall. Apply today and receive your admission decision within 24 hours at mwcc.edu/fall. That's mwcc.edu/fall.